Wow, the amazing amount of smooth brain takes coming out of the shill media this weekend was purely astounding. Every tried and failed talking point was marched out and hoisted on its own petard once more. The 32nd or 33rd Marvel film, depending upon how you count them, is The Marvels, and it's a cinematic masterpiece. Well, at least if you only consider 10 to 15-year-old girls as your audience, which it seems that was the audience for this film. Is that hyperbole on my part? Not at all. Let's do the post-mortem on this already burned out trash fire and the ashes that it rests in. Oh, here we go! Look, I can honestly say that this movie was not for me. Clearly it wasn't for a lot of other people either. The numbers don't lie, but chills do, and their surface level takes masquerading as insightful was on full display all weekend and even today as this video releases. To be blunt, this video is a post-mortem for the film, The Marvels, because, well, it's been suggested by many folks in my comments on my review that it should be a post-mortem instead for Marvel as a brand, and it's hard to argue that point. I would say that Disney has accomplished what it set out to do with Marvel and Star Wars, which was to get rid of the male audience for all of its male-oriented brands. Well, mission accomplished. Well done. So all those boys, they're gone now. Oh, and so are the normal women out there. They followed right along. So what's left? Well, the box office shows you the truth. Not the spin of the shills, apologists, and bots, no. The actual truth of the numbers in black and white on a holiday weekend at the beginning of the winter box office season. Boy, this one's gonna be rough. And what are those numbers, you ask? Well, it started off with an incredibly weak showing in the previews of only 6.5 million on that Thursday. And that was devastating news. The fall off only got more extreme as the combined Thursday and Friday numbers were $21.5 million. And for those of you doing math, there really was only $15 million or so from, well, the Thursday. Then Saturday came through with a flat $15.3 million, and Sunday finished with a $10.2 million failure. What's incredibly telling there is that all of those numbers are descending far too quickly, and they're below The Flash, all of them. And again, these modern audience films seem to be truly resonating with audiences. At least if you look at resonating, or define resonating as a sign to stay away from this trash. So the audience is learning, I guess. If you want some more numbers for comparison, after this video, go check out a wonderful follow on Twitter called Mac, capital M-A-C, or I guess X if you prefer. But the information from Mac has already been gathered in an easily digestible way and can be retweeted at the shills sounding off their typical hate messaging on this film. Of course, that hate's directed at you because you didn't want to see the film. Good job, Mac. Keep it up. And now, if The Marvels continues to follow the same performance arc as The Flash, we will see a huge Monday fall off where the earnings total will fall by 40%. I wish I could say that I wasn't going to look for that, but I probably will. It's also noteworthy to point out that the Marvel's pattern for international earnings at the box office is also very, very similar to that of The Flash. That's a disastrous comparison for the long-term outlook of this film, to be sure. It's also equally disastrous for Disney Marvel as a whole, because they've been on a pattern of decline. And it would be really easy to deconstruct the failings of all of these modern audience films, yet there's no point. We've done it hundreds of times within this fellowship, and it starts to get a little boring. Why should we care? Why should we bother any longer? It's not like Disney and their like will ever change. The failed social engineering, well, they're not being held accountable for that, at least not by the institutional stockholders, because they support the failing message. It's a lie for power. People are tired of those lies, or any of the lies that are being told to us by institutions, so Marvel has to settle now for only 2 or 3 lies per year. At least that seems to be what Bob has been indicating at the recent quarterly earnings call. And again, bluntly, they can't afford much else. They don't have the money for it. Projecting the end run for this particular film's earnings at the box office will depend on their idea of its theatrical window. The minute it goes digital or streaming, it's really dead. I'd say it's dead now, but you get the point. And when it's on streaming, it'll be a curiosity for a week or two, so they'll be able to tout those viewership numbers for that week or two. But the final box office will be telling. If it wraps a 60-day window, it'll be lucky to secure $270 million globally, at least that's based on my estimation, for a comparable film like The Flash. And you're gonna wanna stick around for the end, because I have something illuminating to share with you. Believe it or not though, this would put this film somewhere underwater to the tune of nearly $300 million, just to perform much like The Flash. That's $100 more than even my deep cut on projected loss, which I thought it would finish about $200 million underwater. Even $200 million seems ridiculous, but with modern Disney, maybe it's not anymore. What's funny about this, in this particular moment, while I'm actually doing a post-mortem on this film, I have images of zombies shambling about in slow motion. It really, nearly is an irrevocably dead franchise. The MCU won, but in doing so, it rests in a pile of its own ashes, its own demise. Yikes. You can certainly disagree. Maybe I'm wrong. If you think I'm wrong, let me know. If you think I'm right, let me know. Let's see those comments down in the comments section below. Let's also see a couple of likes down there and some shares, because it really will help the channel grow. And if you haven't subscribed already or find yourself unsubscribed, just turn that little red button to gray. Wow, and I can't believe this, but I have to use this joke. At $47 million in domestic earnings, I have to say, way to go, Ezra. You beat up some more girls. See ya!